Jujutsu Kaisen is a series that has taken the shonen anime fans by storm, with it even topping heavy hitters such as One Piece, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, and many others as the #1 manga in 2021, with it selling over 30 million copies. A feat such as this doesn't just make Jujutsu Kaisen just a new shonen anime, but a juggernaut of Shonen Jump, and will be a major franchise for years to come. That is, if Akutami wishes it to be a long-running series. However, here in this video, I want to talk about the big moments that made us fans shocked. So shocked to the point where these moments ended up breaking the internet. So here, I have compiled a list of 5 moments in Jujutsu Kaisen that have broken the internet, both manga and anime. Number 5. Sukuna vs Jogo. We all wanted to see Sukuna in action, despite him being one of the antagonists of the story. He is actually a fan favorite character amongst the fanbase, even rivaling Gojo in terms of popularity. But seeing Sukuna completely obliterate Jogo was still a big thing for us fans to witness, as it was comparable to the fight between Gojo and Jogo earlier on in the story. Even the way Sukuna grabs his face and smashes it through the building in chapter 115 is very similar to how Gojo grabbed Jogo's face and was smashing it through the ground in the forest that they were fighting in. But the highlight of this fight was definitely when Sukuna revealed he is a fire user. Everyone thought that Sukuna is a slicer, but it turns out that not only is he a slicer, but he's also a fire user, showcasing his fire arrow attack, which ends up burning Jogo. But the beauty in all of this is when Jogo is talking to Dagon and Hanami and giving them an emotional farewell, as when demons are reborn, they forget their previous life. But in this moment, Sukuna appears out of nowhere and acknowledges Jogo, saying he understands what he means by wanting to take over the earth and be considered the real humans. And lastly, saying to him that he should be proud and that he's strong. Now compare that to Gojo, where he ends up calling Jogo weak, just to piss him off even more during their fight. What made this fight one of those internet-breaking moments was Sukuna's abilities being revealed, the comparison between this fight and Gojo's, as well as Sukuna's surprisingly empathetic side, which we have not seen before. So this was a big deal when the fight occurred between chapters 114 to 116. Number 4. Gojo's eyes being revealed. The amount of compilations on YouTube you will find just by typing Gojo eyes revealed reaction in the search bar is insane. Literally, some of them have well over 1 million views. If that's not internet breaking, I don't know what is. Gojo is understandably the fan favorite character of this series. He's the strongest character in the series, he's a very funny character with many hilarious moments, and he's a cool sensei to Yuji and others. But when his eyes were revealed in episode 7 in the anime, everyone was shell-shocked. The animation is already very good in terms of action, but it feels like Mappa used the budget on Gojo's eyes specifically. The crazy thing is, none of us expected for his eyes to be revealed so early on in the story. Check out the reaction videos, almost everyone is shocked that they were seeing Gojo's eyes so soon. You would think such a reveal would be saved for the latter parts of the story, but no, that's not the case with Jujutsu Kaisen. Not only did we get his eyes revealed, but we also got his powers revealed in this episode, with him having the ability to basically control infinity, which puts him as one of the strongest anime characters of all time. So yeah, Gojo's eyes being revealed was definitely an internet breaking moment. Number 3. Gojo's Hollow Purple attack. Back at it with Gojo at number 3 with his signature move, Hollow Purple, in episode 20 of the anime. This was so badass because we were in that bit where the special grade curses have invaded the tournament between Tokyo High and Kyoto High, and the special grades have the upper hand. Even with Todo and Yuji teaming up, they are still struggling to take down Hanami. We also had the issue of the barrier surrounding Tokyo High, meaning characters like Gojo are unable to enter and stop the special grade curses. At one point, it genuinely looked like there was no hope left, as we were witnessing Hanami about to reveal its domain expansion. But just as it said domain expansion, Gojo breaks the seal. And not only does he break the seal, he stopped Hanami's domain expansion. That feat in itself is ridiculous as it is, but Gojo then goes around beating the shit out of the cursed users who are part of Kenjaku's team. All of this is happening whilst the Gojo Hollow Purple theme is playing in the background, It's like this electric house music you hear in parties, but Gojo is the main man. Without him, there is no party. He then combines his Curse Technique Amplification Blue and Curse Technique Reversal Red, combining it into Hollow Purple, which destroys everything to an atomic level, as we see in Nearly Killed Hanami. Again, go to YouTube. The amount of Gojo Hollow Purple theme remixes that you will see and hear, some are even an hour long, which shows not only how popular Gojo's powers are, but even his theme music is also internet breaking. Number 2. Nanami's death. Nanami is a fan favorite character, not only because of his banter with Gojo, but because he's an everyman. He entered the workforce looking for a normal 9 to 5, but ending up hating it. I'm sure all of us can relate to that at some stage in our lives, which is why he is a fan favorite character, because a lot of us can relate to Nanami. But then we go to chapter 120 and we see him die right in front of Yuji. And the guy that killed him, none other than Mahito. Their fight to the death was foreshadowed earlier on when they met for the first time, so it wasn't that much of a surprise when we saw Mahito being the one that killed Nanami. Nanami had a death battle with both Dagon and Jogo. Jogo literally burnt him alive with half of his skin fully burnt off his body. But Nanami still fights the transfigured human. But I love his internal monologue where he was saying Malaysia would have been a nice trip, building a house on the secluded beach, or even reading the books he didn't get a chance to read. He has the typical adult regrets of not being able to travel or do the things he truly wanted to do. He also says that he came back to find the work worthwhile. This is something that we can relate to in our lives. Whenever we stop feeling fulfilled in our workplace, we start applying for jobs and try to find someplace else. Nanami is us, the adult fans of Jujutsu Kaisen. Seeing such a beloved character actually die hurt us even more, because it felt like Mahito did this to us as well as Nanami, which is why this moment broke the internet. Number 1. Toji defeating Gojo. Chapters 70, 71 and 72 showcases the boss that is Toji Fushiguro. He masterminded a plan to catch Gojo off guard and low on cursed energy and strike them from within the barrier of Jujutsu High, which is where Gojo will be at his most relaxed state, as he himself and Geto believed that they had fulfilled their mission in getting Riko to Master Tengen, as Riko is the star plasma vessel. But it turned out that Toji was waiting for them there when he stabbed Gojo through his torso in chapter 70. And throughout these chapters, you can tell that stab has had an effect on Gojo, despite him saying that it wasn't a big deal. You can see him sweat. When was the last time you saw Gojo sweat? Toji was outpacing him. Gojo was not himself during this fight. He was seriously struggling as he couldn't read Toji's moves because Toji has no cursed energy. Toji catches Gojo off guard again and stabs Gojo in the neck with his special grade tool, Inverted Spear of Heaven, and then proceeds to stab the shit out of Gojo's leg. This was brutal to see, and what's even more shocking is that Toji won. He defeated Gojo. Gojo fell flat on the floor. In this video, I've already briefly explained how overpowered Gojo is. You can search up so many videos on YouTube that explain how ridiculously overpowered Gojo is. Gojo was playing around with Jogo, calling him weak, but we see Jogo in chapter 111, him burning and beating Nanami, Naobito, and Maki in a matter of seconds, one after the other. But Gojo was just playing with this guy. The levels of power between Gojo and everyone else is on a different scale. Maybe only Kenjaku and full-powered Sukuna can rival Gojo. But the fact that the strongest character in the verse got defeated and stabbed up by Toji was the most internet-breaking moment for me. Toji is beating the undefeatable, and seeing Gojo on the floor in his own blood was so surreal. You couldn't believe this moment even happened. But now, I want to turn it over to you guys. What's your internet-breaking moment from Jujutsu Kaisen? List them down below and let me know.